Hey there, boys and girls. A little bit of a different video today. It's a thing that I get asked all the time. What emulator do I use? How do I perfect chain? Why does my emulator crash? I want to try to cover all of those things with this video right here. The short story is probably because you're on a Google Play install, not an Amazon install. A lot of times when people ask me that, I'm like, hey, go to an Amazon install. You'll be good to go. Sometimes they can handle it, sometimes they can't. Hopefully this video will be kind of like a visual illustration to help them out with that. It's going to be a fairly lengthy video. I wanted to make sure to take my time and slowly explain how to do all these things. And also at the end of the video, I'm going to be showing how to perfect chain with Nox's built-in macro system. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. This is kind of roughly the same for any emulator that you want to use. I don't think one's better than the other. It's just whatever you want to use, whatever works for you. I also understand people don't like to use third-party programs. They don't want to play a phone game on their computer. That's totally cool. If this video is not for you, it's all good. You can move along. There is people that have questions about this that want to know how to do this, so I want to try to help them out. Also, I'm not paid by Nox or BlueStacks or anybody. This is not a sponsored video. These are free programs. Anybody can get them. FFB Chain website. All free resources anybody can use. So take advantage of it if you want to. Also, if your cat dies or your house blows up or something as a result of you trying to do this, System32 folder gets deleted. Not my fault. Use at your own risk. I've done this for years now. I can do these installations in my sleep. Hopefully I can help you guys do it as well. I'm also not going to show like going to Google and installing Nox. I'm going to assume that you can install the program on your own. It's Nox, N-O-X. Once you have it installed, it should look something like this on your desktop. You should have two files. You'll have Nox and you'll have multi-drive. Multi-drive is what I'm interested in. So go ahead and fire that off. You'll have a screen that looks like this. As you can see, I have 3 versions of Nox right here. The reason I have 3 is I have a Amazon version, a Google version, and a backup. Gonzy, you just said the Google version crashes. Why do you have a Google version? Well, you can get Google Play rewards. They can only be spent on the Google version. So if I want to buy a Fountain of Lapis with my Google Play rewards, I would have to uninstall the Amazon version, install the Google version on my phone. You know, it's a tedious process. So I just keep a Google version on my phone. So anytime I want to make a purchase with my Google rewards points, I can. Entirely up to you if you want to do that as well. I would also like to point out that if you're on an Apple phone and you do this Amazon install, your Lapis will not carry over. You'll be at 0 Lapis. On your Amazon installation, whatever platform that you primarily play on, that's where your Lapis stays. I would suggest people play on the Amazon version just because Amazon coins in most cases are the cheapest way to go for most people. Depends on where you live. Just kind of throwing it out there that way nobody gets scared that they lost all their Lapis. A benefit of doing this would be that you could clear a trial. Even if you're playing on an Apple phone, like say you can't perfect chain there, you can use this emulator, perfect chain, and then switch back to your Apple phone, claim your rewards, no harm, no foul. We're also going to be doing this from the point of view from a completely fresh install. So I want to add me up another emulator, and I want to launch it. These screens are going to get kind of wonky because these are brand new. They're not sized properly for recording or streaming. So I'm going to have to get a handle on these boxes. Kind of bear with me while I shrink these down and make them the right size so everybody can see them. Screen, there we go. It's what it's going to look like the first time that you install your emulator. And like I said, most people are probably clicking right here and trying to download Brave Exvius. This is via Google. This is what's not working for you. This is why you're crashing. We need to install the Amazon App Store first. You can't install it from the Google Play Store either. You have to search for it on the browser. Another thing with Nox, all of these programs are up here, they slow you down. We're going to take care of these as well. But first, we're going to go to browser. We're going to install this Amazon App Store. A good way of looking at an emulator is just think of it like a phone. Don't think of it like a computer program. It's a phone. We're going to search Amazon App Store APK. It's going to be the first hit right here. Click on that. We're going to, right here in the center, get Amazon App Store. It'll be up here in the top left-hand corner, a little arrow. It's downloading. Once it's completed downloading, you can just kind of pull down and click on it. It's going to ask you if you're sure you want to do this. Of course, we're going to open him up. Here, resize this so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Oh no, wrong one. There we go. You have to sign in with your Amazon account. I want to hit you with the BRB screen while I do that. Once you're signed in, it'll look like this. This is not just FFB specific. If you want to play any game that's available on the App Store, you can search for it here, play it on your computer, no worries there. We're going to type Final Fantasy. Right here is Brave Exvius, which is the game that we're after for this specific video. We're going to go ahead and install. Keep in mind, on the initial installation of an emulator, it's downloading a lot of like Google stuff and whatnot, so it may be a little slow. If that's the case for you, just kind of keep that in mind. It gets better, trust me. We've got FFB installed, but we don't want to mess with that yet. We're done with this part, so we're just going to say done. And I can't show you, for some reason the side panel won't show up on my recording software. On the side of the emulator, click on that and it'll have like volume up and down and stuff like that. At the bottom right hand corner, you'll see a little house. Click on the house to go to the home screen. Alrighty, we're going to take care of this login screen right now. We're going to take all these like adware stuff out of here. Go to the Google Play Store. We're going to type Nova Launcher. We're going to download this. This is effectively going to replace Nox's default launcher, but a problem with that is Nox is kind of selfish. It doesn't want to be replaced, so we're going to have to do some finagling to do that. You have to sign into your Google account to do this. Again, I'm going to hit you with the BRB screen. Oh, noes. You'll probably get a notification on your phone that your Google account has been logged in somewhere. That's typical. Don't worry about that, as long as you're the one doing it right now. Once you get signed in, you'll be at the install screen for Nova Launcher. Go ahead and hit that up. Now, I wish it was as easy as just telling Nova Launcher to be the default, but it's not. It'll try to be, but Nox will not have any part of it. So once you've got it installed, again, hit that home screen. That's fine, use Nox Launcher. You can see we've got Nova Launcher installed. Right up top, you'll have a cog wheel. You want to click on that. Again, it won't show up on my recording software. In the center of your screen, you're going to have Launch on Startup and you're going to have Root. We want to make sure to tick that root box. We're going to hit Save Settings. It's going to ask us if we want to restart. Tell it yes. We're going to close this down. The reason that we're going into root is so we can change the system files on our emulator. It's the only way to get rid of Nox's default launcher. That's why I was saying sometimes it'll snag up on you. Just stop this. And you can start him back up. This is very typical for a fresh installation of an emulator. Once you get the bugs worked out of it and these launchers switched out, like, it won't do this to you no more and you'll be fine. We can just leave it on Nox Launcher right now. We're going to take care of that. Right here in the center, you're going to have Tools. We're going to click on File Manager. And I want to go slow with this, and I'll leave this in the pinned description. We want to click on the File Manager. We want to go to System folder. We want to go to App. We want to scroll down here to the Launcher. And right here, this is the Nova Launcher, or the Nox Launcher that we want to get rid of. Click and hold down on this. Got to rename. Back this up a little bit. Type BAK. Oh boy, what did I push? Type BAK. Needs elevated privileges. Yes, we already did that. Don't worry about it. Operation completed successfully. Now we've taken the Nox Launcher out. Go back in the cogwheel again. Click on root, uncheck that box, save settings. and restart the emulator again. Now when he starts up, Nova Launcher will be the default. You can make this layout however you want. I don't really care. I don't like all these like boxes on my screen. If you click and hold down on them, you can delete them. We'll just get rid of all these guys. All right. Once I've got my home screen cleared off, click and hold down on your home screen. Click on Widgets. Click and hold down on Apps or Folders. So you have this boy in your hand. Drop that down. Pick which app you want it to be. In this case, we're doing Brave Exvius. We're going to add him down. And we're going to launch the game. I want to click through this a little bit and get to the login screen of the actual game. And then I want to switch over to my version that I play on because I don't want to re-download the game again. It takes a lot of time and I just don't want to edit this video. Alrighty, here's your login screen. However you would typically log into FFB, go ahead and hit that up and you'll be good to go. You'll download the game like you would be doing on a fresh install, and you should be able to play. I'm going to close this out and I'm going to switch over to my version, because it's already updated and everything. Alrighty, we'll launch Brave Exvius. Make sure you got volume turned on. Move him over here a little bit. It takes a little bit to log in on your emulator. I don't think it's that slow. Better than it used to be, that's for sure. If you've gotten to this point right here, you're good to go. You're on the Amazon version of Brave Exvius. Like I said, if you was playing on the Google installation, your lapis may be different. Just kind of keep that in mind. Your lapis is fine, whatever platform you play on. That's where your lapis is at. This is the Amazon version. It shouldn't crash on you if you're using a powerful enough computer to run the emulator. You don't have to have the Gibson to do that. You should be good to go. So if you're only interested in installation of an emulator, you're done with the video. I'm going to move over into the macro portion of this and show you guys how to use how to use Nox's built-in macro system to perfect chain with Brave Exvius. Again, on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to click on that. There'll be 3 little dots right in the center. Click on that. Again, I can't show you because it won't show up on my recording software. There'll be a button that says macro on it. Go ahead and hit that. And it should look like this. Delete this off. That's my old macro. It'll be blank just like this one. We're going to put in some macros. Now, you can just click record right here and then record your keystrokes, but it also has the input delay right there. And we want these to be perfect every single time, so we're going to use kind of like a robotic process to do this. But first, you have to give like a dummy macro so you can change the parameters inside of it. So go ahead and click record, and right up here, it'll kind of do some stuff. Just click a couple of times to give the macro something to have. Okay, now you've got you a macro right here, record. We're gonna go ahead and click on that. I always rename my macros like what slots I'm chaining. For this one, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's slots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're not familiar with what I'm saying as far as slots go, I'll show you right now. Go to the Tower of Wind. Do your best, Kupo. Alrighty, Zon would be considered slot 1, Elena would be slot 2, Elena number 2 would be slot 3, Onion Knight would be slot 4, Fravia would be slot 5, and then slot 6 would be your friend. You can make whatever kind of combination you want. You can add your finishers, you can do whatever you want right here. For this macro, I want to be chaining 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want to be chaining all 5 of these units simultaneously. In order to do that, we're going to switch over to a website to make macros for us to make this process even easier. This is ffbchain.com. Really great website. The basic functionality of this website is you can input your units right here and it'll create a macro for you. So if you wanted to use like Cloud as your finisher or whatever, you could input it right here. What I like to do is I just grab like Elena or whatever by default. Whenever you type her name in, it fills in some abilities right here. I want 5 slots to chain simultaneously. That's the goal of my macro. But I just want to show you, you know, kind of some of the things you can do with this website. And again, your own creativity is your limit here. So we'll do a couple of Elenas, and then we'll do like CG Cloud. Where's his finisher at? Omni Slash version 5. As you can see, like right down here, this is the actual macro in operation. These two are Elena chaining. These are the hits Elena's doing. These are Cloud's interactions with Elena's chain right here. This is when Cloud's hitting inside of this chain, and it extends all the way out here. You can change how this works in a few different ways. As you can see, like right now the modifier is like 37,000%. You can tell it to find the best modifier. As you can see, it moved Cloud around. This is where he's landing his hits. Basically, it's fitting all 5 of his hits inside of the Elena chain, which is optimal. You don't want Cloud hitting before the chain is at max cap. You can also take this slider and move your units around and kind of do it a custom build if you want to. If you want your units to land a certain way. The way I do it is I just have like certain slots to chain perfectly, and I do my finishers by hand. It's just the way I've always done it. I'm old-fashioned, I guess. I like to be in control of what my finishers are doing. For example, I would chain like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would have Sid up in the air. I would let the chain build up, and I would just click on Sid. He drops, he finishes, and that's how I would do it. But again, you can play with this. You can go to the training dummy. You can do whatever you want to do with this kind of program right here, or this website right here. It's really, really nice. But we're going to be doing all Elenas because we just want a macro that's going to chain 5 units perfectly every single time. So we've got our 5 units right here loaded up. As you can see in the visual illustration, they're all perfect chaining. Now, right here, emulator, very important that you have the correct emulator set. Make sure that you've got Nox in our case set, and it's going to create you a macro right here. Now, this is where things get a little bit more tricky. Get rid of that. We need to find the macro folder on our computer. And again, I'll put the link to the file path to this in my pinned comment. You want to open up your C drive. You want to go to users. It'll be whatever your computer name is. My computer name is Gonzy the Mage. Double click on that. Want to make sure that you've got hidden items ticked right here so you can see them. You want to go to app data. You want to go to local, and then you want to go down here to Nox. And then you can see some folders inside of here. Right here is your record folder. This is where your macros are going, right here. Any macro you make will go in this folder right here. Now, a tip that I like to do is I create a shortcut of this folder, and then I cut it, and I paste it on my desktop. That way, anytime I want to mess with my macros, I can just click a couple times instead of going through all those files or whatever to get there. This is the macro that we made just a few minutes ago. As you can see, it was made at like 11 PM or whatever, 7:23. A good way to do this is sort it by date modified. Say last week you made some macros, it's a new week, you made some new macros, the newest will be on the top. When you double click on this, you'll open it with Notepad. It'll look like something like this. This is the clicks that you actually did with your mouse. And we don't want that. So you're going to click in the box, you're going to hit Control A to select everything, backspace, go to your website, you're going to hit copy. We're going to come back to your macro, Control V, Control S to save, close that out. You've now saved this perfect chaining macro to this right here. Let me get back in a bigger showcase right here. We're going to defend Zon and our Elenas. Onion Knight, we'll use pre-cooking. Pravia, we'll use Gift of Daylight. I'm unlocking triple cast, is what I'm doing. I'm going to be chaining Aurora Ray frames. These are difficult frames to manually chain. I'm sure there's some savant out there that can just chain these like no tomorrow. So can my macro. So we'll do triple AR. We'll do triple AR. Onion Knights are all the way down here at the bottom, I think. And we'll get Pravia. Alrighty, once you get all your units set, come over here to your macro. See this play button right here? We're just going to hit this little boy and watch the show. Yep, 449 point chain every single time. So, if you want to use Bolting Strike, whatever you want to do, like in Dark Visions, you want to use 2 chaining families, 2 Bolting Strike, 2 Mirror of Equity. It would work the same way. You could use your finishers, however you want to do it. Whatever kind of creative macros you want to make, it's entirely up to you. So that was a lot of talking. We did the installation, we did the macro, all in one video. I hope this helps people out. I hope this maybe can clear up some of the misconceptions about maybe why your macro program isn't working for you. Maybe why the emulator isn't working for you as well. Maybe you can now see how to do the Amazon installation, and maybe be able to play Brave Exvius a little bit easier if you want to. I hope you guys liked the video. This was a long time in the making. Have a great rest of the week. Toodaloo.